before. My target on Bitcoin, which is going to put it into a buy zone down here, is right around 77 to 63,000. So I think we got a little bit more room to go on this. We may see some support here, but I don't know, guys. It looks to me like we're going to probably take out this liquidity here and go back down. We also have a red pyramid precision trend filter, PTF, over here on the left, indicating more lows below its current low. So everything's pointing to more lower prices. Now, if you're a long-term holder, just hold it, okay? Because it should go back up. If you look on the chart on the right, which is the weekly chart, we're in a wave 4, and you know, everybody, after a wave 4, what comes? Wave 5, right? So wave 5 is higher highs. The next higher high, though, like when we break 130, I'm going to be looking to sell mine, okay? So you may want to sell yours as well. But we'll talk about that. And if you have any, if you really want to keep up with this, subscribe to the More Report, okay? That's where we cover all this stuff. So I just want to cover that and give you a heads up. And now I'm going to leave that, and let me bring up my cursor. For some reason, I can't bring up my cursor and have it preloaded with the pictures that I just showed you on there. Kind of conflicts. Okay, let me just check it, make sure everything is okay, and then we'll get going. Okay, good. That's working. All right, so let me go up and find the first set. I think, Ed, that was you. Okay. Now, if I miss your stock picks, just give me a holler, okay? All right? Because a lot are coming in, and sometimes I do miss stuff. All right, so let's take a look at these. All potential buys. All right, by the way, what was that one last week? Okay, boy, I forgot it. I had it written down here, and I wanted to show it to you. But anyway, maybe you'll remind me. It was on the watch list. It's looking like a really good buy. Oh, it's this one, OKLO. I already have it up. Okay, good. This is one from last week. Remember, we were waiting for this to get a little bit better. All right, now we have green outs, okay, on both time frames. This is the buy, okay? So let me just change this over to the daily as well. I got screwed up, but anyway, you have green PTFs. You have some blocks here that stayed, and we have the owl now on the weekly, okay? So a little bit of a red owl on the daily, but that's okay, all right? So on this one here, this is a buy, okay? We talked about it last week, but I'm kind of liking it in this area. It pulled back enough to get a good price. Put your stop at the very bottom, okay? So I'm going to put this one now down as a go on the watch list, OKLO, okay? OKLO. All right, now, Ed, let's get to yours, INOD. All right, not bad either, okay? Pulled back. And again, this green stuff over here, this is not my software. These are fair value gaps. And this is a free indicator they have built into NinjaTrader. So you can, and probably most platforms got this by now, but if you're on TradingView, you have it. TradeSafe, I'm not so sure, okay? But I think you have it on NinjaTrader for sure. All right, well, I know you do. All right, so here we have this. We had a nice rejection off this. We're kind of bouncing around. There's two ways you could play this, Ed. You could wait for a break above here to go long in case we drill into this fair value gap a little deeper. But what I like about this is we had a break in structure here, okay? So this was your downtrend. We had an up, notice the pyramid captured that, and then we had a break in structure. So you've kind of had an internal break here and then a major break here. So I'm going to put this one down as a buy now. Okay, I'm kind of liking that. And with the green PTFs, I don't mind going in a little early on this, okay? So INOD is a go. All right, let's check out your next one, SOUN. And I've been watching this one as well. And hopefully you guys can hear me okay. All right, I turned my cam off, so you can't see me, but you should be able to hear me. All right, so on this one here, not yet, all right? Notice we haven't had a break in structure yet on the daily chart. We're still moving down. We do have a green PTF on the weekly, but this is not ready for a buy yet, okay? Big difference between this and the last one. SNOW, let's take a look at that. All right. And this one here could be setting up. And the only reason I say that is we have an order block right here on this weekly chart. And we've had a fair value gap. And we have not closed below it, but we're getting close to. So you don't want to go into this one yet either. This one has not turned around yet. So bring these back next week, okay? All right, thank you. All right, let's go on to Enigma. Hello, Enigma. All right, LLY, Eli Lilly. Let's see what we got there. Long. All right. So I'm assuming you're long, not potential long. So on this one here, you've had a nice run up, little congestion here. I think you'll probably get another push up on this one, but I think you're going to have a little bit more of a correction possibly. You know, here's the thing. All right. It always gets a little tough when you've had a nice move up, then it goes into consolidation. You had this one push up here on the weekly chart. I wish we didn't have that, because then I would say it would probably go up there for sure. But this one here is kind of maybe a little bit of a blow off, and now we may go down here before we go up. So we got a bearish pyramid coming in here. So no longer the uptrend, according to the pyramid trading points, ended when it took out this pyramid here. So any long trades on that big run up, which would have done well, you would have been taken out now. All right, so let's just draw in a couple fibs and see what some possibilities are on this. All right, so here's the 50% mark on the fib, and we're probably going to have to redo this one here. I kind of used it for some other stuff, but probably we're looking at a range right around this pyramid here to this here. This is kind of like the high probability area. And so this is going to be what, 23.8 or something like that. And then this is 61.8 down here. I think this is 23.2 maybe. All right. So, you know, we could get a dive down to 919, but that should be temporary. And we should see one more move to the upside. So if you don't mind holding it down there, fine. If not, you know, one of the things you could do is sell half here, and we may make another move to the upside. So you'll have half a position. And if we move down, you buy the other half back. So that's kind of a win-win situation. So I do think this will go up. My question on this is pull back. All right. And we're, you know, we have some fair value gaps that kind of need to be filled down in here. So I'm kind of thinking that would be probably the best strategy and the one I would use for that. All right, let's see what we got. Alexander, you are Zen Trader. Thank you for letting me know. You know, Gene knows all that stuff, but I don't. Okay, so good. All right, let's keep going here. Al is back with now. All right, you're back with now. You're back right now. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, so we got to move down. No long yet. All right, wait for this to finish. It's not finished yet. Now, we may go into a range here and then head up, but don't do anything yet. Plus, we still kind of, you know, there's no turnaround. There's no break in structure. So in something like this, what you kind of need to have happen, there's a couple things. One is, you see this point here where this pyramid is? That's a major point in the market. So you kind of want to wait for the market to get above that range. Okay, that's kind of an external break in structure. If you get a pyramid that forms in here and a break above here, that's an internal break in structure. Okay, so the better thing to do is wait for the external to break. All right, and you know, nothing's happening there, so no go on that. AXGN. All right, so this one, well, long is the right way, but my problem is you missed it. Okay, you're chasing it at this point. Look at the pyramids. Boy, it did a great job on that. All right, got you in here. And we trail our stops up under the bottoms of these. Took you out here. It was almost, that's from 10 to what, 14. 40% gain. Then it got you in here. and you're sitting here, okay? So it's probably going to go higher, but I would wait for a pullback on this. And we do have bearish diversions here, okay? So that to me is a no-go. We have no more precision trend filters indicating more highs. If you're new here, this indicator we call the PTF. I've mentioned this earlier and a couple times already. When it's yellow, it's neutral. When it's green, there's a 75% probability prices are going higher, even after a pullback. So it kind of gives you a little confidence to hold things during a pullback. All right, let's go to PA. Did I get that right? Not seeing any load on that. Check that symbol, okay? We'll come back to it. All right, gold. Oh boy, this is a good one. How do you like those silvers? You know, we talked about silver a while back when it had a pennant. I don't know if any of you remember that, but that was really a while back, and it broke out of that pennant in range. And I think it might have been actually maybe right. Well, this is gold, but you know, you even have one here like this, broke out with a pyramid. So again, look at the pyramids. Boom, boom, boom. Tell me that's not great. Okay. We're having a little pullback in gold now, but as long as you don't mind the pullback, you can hold it. All right. More highs are coming. Now, one thing that's very interesting though, see this? That's a lot of rejection. We see that near significant tops. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a pullback to this fair value gap here before it comes back up. So that's about a 100-point pullback that's possible. Okay. Now we have a wave 3 on the daily, which, you know, again, you're probably still in a pullback area in that. But this one here and this one here have huge owls. So you're definitely going to get more highs. You might just have a little bit more of a pullback until you do that. Pyramid has got to stop far enough away to hopefully survive a pullback. All right. So that's kind of a cool thing. And look at the pyramid here. Some people wonder, why are the pyramids so far away? Because they're trying to allow you room to survive a pullback if the trend has not ended. And the trend in this technically won't end until the owl shows the end of wave 3. So you want to get out by wave 4, but you kind of want to stay in the wave 3. All right. So there you have it. More highs are coming. If you want to put under this week's low, maybe a stop to get out of a third or a quarter, you could do that. And then go back in after the pullback is done, okay? Silver, this is remarkable, okay? Absolutely remarkable, okay? 110 at a high, okay? Look at this. Green PTFs, just like before, okay? So, I mean, wow, right? Okay, absolutely wow. And, you know, it came back up. Pyramids have done an awesome job once again on all the metals, and more highs are coming. But you're probably, you know, you got a bearish weekly candle forming this week on it, so you might get a little bit of a pullback, and you can see that pullback more prominent on the daily chart. But after this pullback, more highs, so an opportunity maybe to buy a little bit more in here. Okay. All right, huge gains. Now, you don't like to give back your gains, right? Who does, right? But in trading, you know, unfortunately, if you want to hold for a target, sometimes you got to weather the pullbacks. That's the hard part about trading, is the psychology to do that, right? So that's always a personal thing in terms of how you interpret that personally in terms of fear and greed, right? So, you know, if you can't handle a pullback, then when you see the market reversing, you should scale out a little bit in order for you to be able to sleep at night, so to speak. So I'm going to leave that to how you want to manage that. But, it's pulled back quite a bit already. So I would probably, if it was me and I was comfortable here, I'd probably continue to hold it and maybe accumulate a little bit more. We have a fair value gap down in this area here. All right. So far, we're not rejecting here. But the other thing too with the markets, when you get a big steep micro channel like this, usually you get a pullback and then another leg up. So I'm pretty as certain as I can be, of course, that we'll get another leg up. Okay. BLT. Bacon, lettuce, and tomato. Let's see how this one looks. This one's not coming up either. Oh, B. Long-term hold. I'm sorry. That was my bad. All right, B. Okay, so this is a long-term hold on this. Again, look at the pyramids. I don't even have to sell the software. The software sells itself. Look at this. Boom, boom, boom. And what you do is you just go long at the top of the pyramid, put your stop down, and trail your stops up. Okay? And if you were using a moving average, you would have been taken out of that trend and would have had to gotten back in, which is not the worst thing, but it makes it a lot easier just to follow the pyramids. All right, so pullback coming a little bit right now. We got, again, a bearish candle. So we've seen a lot of these bearish candles on the weekly chart on a lot of these stocks. So I guess we're going to get a pullback in the markets for a little bit. But the market, at least the ones we've looked at, these markets we've looked at are so strong that it's just a pullback, not a change in trend. So don't panic. Okay. So I think you can hold these again. If you were trading the pyramids, you'd be out on this leg up. We have bearish divergence. So there you have it. This is still bullish here. So probably a fairly major pullback could be in store on the daily chart. And maybe we come down to 40 or in the 30s before resumption. But again, if you're long-term, you can look at this as an accumulation period. If you're a trader, you'd be out and looking for a buyback in later. So it all depends on your mindset. All right, Al's back. All right, CAR. What is that, CAR? I don't know exactly which one that is. Okay, so short. All right. I probably would not do a short here, okay? It's already short. So in this case here, a couple things when I look at that, I don't mean to be facetious when I say that, but here you've got a situation right here where you got an order block here. So we're button up against that. We usually see that providing support. We're right back down. We blew through this. We got a green PTF. Yeah, it could go a little shorter. Maybe it'll take out the equity over here on the daily chart, which is sitting, right here. Okay, we could take that out and then get a reversal. So I think you're too close to points of major reversal on this, I guess is what I'm saying. So no short on that. Let's take a look at Intel. Green PTF on that. No short on that either. Now, what's interesting though, all right, we have a bearish, here's the issue with this. So bearish fair value gap here could provide resistance for a move down. Okay, that supports a short sell. However, we got another bullish one down here. So anytime you have a bullish and a bearish one, I don't do anything, okay, because it could oscillate. It could range for a while. But we have a green PTF and we have green out. So that's enough for keep me out of a short position, okay? All right, let's take a look at your next one. EDXC. Guys, is this helpful or am I too long-winded here? All right, this is a penny stock, Al. I can't even get any data up on this. Did I type that in correctly? Yeah. So I'm not going to do that one. Okay. All right. All right, Ed, coin. Ooh, I like coin. So I looked at coin earlier with another client this week, and I'd like to get into it, but it's not ready yet. Okay. It looks like it's going to try to come at least take out maybe back into this order block area here. So stay away from it for a long position right now. Okay. AV. Okay. All right. So this is setting up. This is a good one. Okay. I'm not going to recommend it yet because we haven't had a change in structure turnaround yet. So AV. Okay. So on this one here, we're going to put this on a watch list, and I want you to bring this back next week. What do I like about it? Well, green PTFs, for one thing. I love the fact that it's reached into this order fair value gap here. All right. Notice we're filling that in here too. So let's see if we get a turnaround. Okay. We got a big order block down here, and you don't want to touch that until it's finished. Okay. So let's see if that turns around and breaks, rejects that fair value gap. It has not yet. All right, so that's AVAV. So put that on the watch list. APP. All right. This one, green PTF. All right, but it's coming down. I think it's probably going to take out at the very least this low here. Okay. And then the next low could be here. Let's see. So if it does that, what is that doing? If it takes that low out, what does that mean? Could it bounce up from there? It could. But what else could it do? That's technically a change in structure, right? Okay. So that means that that's a fairly, external change in structure. Fair value gap rejected, bearish one off there. So then we may come back up, and it may actually be a short or another leg down before it takes off again. Okay. So I just wouldn't do anything with this yet. We could bring it back next week and take a look, but I want to see if this owl goes negative. If it doesn't, and we get a rejection back up after taking this out, well, then that's basically a really nice, that could be a nice long trade. We see a rejection off that and take this structure out here. Okay, then it's a long. All right. So that's classified as a silver bullet by ICT if that's taken out. Okay. And then rejects and comes above here. Okay. So you kind of you want to wait for that to happen. You got to be patient, wait for that. And don't go long right away because you don't know, because you'll have a fair value gap in here maybe if it'll go down. But if it rejects here and goes up, takes this structure out, comes back and creates another fair value gap in here, which is what usually happens, then you've got a nice long trade with high probability. Okay. So no go on that one yet. Kumar, how are you? Kumar, I like your car, by the way. I assume that is your car. All right. Okay, so you have these on your watch list. MSFT, Microsoft. Let's see how that's looking. All right. So long entry. Okay, so a couple things that we like here is that we no longer have a red PTF. As you can tell, I absolutely love this indicator. Okay. So we don't have that anymore. It's yellow, it's neutral. So we want to see that when things are getting ready to turn around, right? We got into the fair value gap on the weekly chart like that. We should see rejection. We're starting to. All right, we have a green PTF still here, so our target is up here. And what we need is what? You can tell me. What do you think we need on this? Change in structure. In other words, we have to have an uptrend identifiable in terms of we got to get above here. We got to take out this bearish fair value gap, pull back, and then a move up. All right, so no go for a long trade on this one. This is Microsoft, Apple. Okay, Apple, red PTF still. We're seeing a little bit of rejection here. Okay, we're seeing it here. If this red PTF wasn't here, I'd be more apt to say looking good. Let me just see if we took this out here. Looks like we did, didn't we? Okay, so that is a low of 243.42, and that is a low of 244. All right, so we took this equity out here. Interesting, okay. Let's see if we have a change in structure yet. We technically don't. Look at very close. Look how close that came. All right, so let's see if we can get above here. We've got two scenarios that could unfold here, okay? One, we could bounce off here, go back below here, and then take off, or get above here and keep going. And with this is kind of the thing that's holding me back, is that red PTF. So I'd have to, before I consider overriding the PTF, because, you know, it's not right all the time. It's right 75% of the time. If I see a strong reason to go long here, above here, I might do that. But look at this. You also have a very bearish fair value gap. All right. So technically, we could come up even above here and get rejected off that fair value gap for one more low down. All right. The other thing, too, let's just see what we got here. We got two bottoms, right? I want you to think of this in terms of how market makers think, those institutions that can manipulate. So in a situation like this, where are there a lot of stops? Right here, okay? Now, some were taken out already. And when this popped up, people went long. So this now, all right, is once again sell-side liquidity. So they could take this out and then go back up. So again, because I have two opposing fair value gaps, this one and this one, I do nothing. I wouldn't do anything with this, okay? Let's see how that plays out. Keep an eye on it because it'll become obvious at some point, but it's not right now. All right, Netflix. NFLX. Okay, hasn't turned around yet. Pyramids did a freaking great job on this move down. All right, and how you could do this when using multiple time frames, if you have a bearish pyramid, even if it's an MP on the way down, okay, and you have a P pyramid here, you can still take those because they're in conjunction. AVGO, see how we got there. Okay, we're starting to see some rejection off the fair value gap on the weekly. But boy, we got this big one up here. So I couldn't even consider going long here until we get above that. So no go on that one either. Okay. All right. Antonio, I don't think I have, I don't have cryptos up, nor do I have forex up to look at the gold versus USD, okay? All right, so yeah, I think I got that. I figured that out, Constance. Thanks. Okay. All right, TGB. All right, so long and you're in it. Okay, and you're getting a pullback. All right, so this is kind of like what we're seeing on a lot of these stocks right now. Look at the weekly chart. That is, it's got a 1 bar reversal as well, which is our software telling you this is setting up to be a reversal short trade or pullback. But in any case, that's bearish. This is bullish, 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 bullish. So what does that mean? Well, it might mean we might get a little pullback, but it should be followed by more highs. And we have a fairly significant fair value gap here. All right. So, and we have a kind of an order block area in here. Not really, an order block's really down here. But in any case, you could get a pullback to around $6 before this thing resumes back up. Okay. So I'll let you decide how you want to play it. If you kind of want to, if you're thinking about getting out, I don't know where you got in, so I don't know where your profit is. But for example, if you wanted to put a stop, all right, I would probably put it here, okay? And that would, or put it here if you're longer term. Now, why would I put it there? Well, it's an order block. It's also the first bar of the fair value gap, 1, 2, 3 candle structure. Do not these days put your stop under the bar number 2 of a fair value gap. Do not do that. They're running those. You got to put them under the order block, the beginning one, okay? And even a little lower if you want. All right, so that is where we are there. Okay. Okay, BTC. Okay, so let's see what we got cooking here. All right, so we got to move down. We're going to kind of, what I like to see is a close below a fair value gap. That's usually kind of voids it out, makes it into an inverted fair value gap. There's not a lot of history on this one. Makes that chart a little bit difficult. So let me just draw a quick little line across here. Okay, let me go to I got the data window on my other screen, so that's why. Let's see, that has a low of 3640. This has a low of 3642, so it took equity out here, barely. All right, so where's the next equity level? Down here and here. All right, we have not gotten a turnaround yet, but let's see if we do. Okay, let's bring it back next week. We got a bearish fair value gap that'll form after today as well. I have another red area in here. So we got to get we got to get above that, okay? We had a little bit of a change in structure here internally, but the major change in structure is here. So I'd say no go on that yet. All right. All right. Yeah, I did BTC at the beginning. Right? Well, I did Bitcoin. I didn't know if this was a stock BTC. So I did Bitcoin in the beginning. Yes. And that's what Constance is referring to. Okay. But, you know, BTC is also a stock. All right. All right. Let's see what we got. All right. So let's see what this question is. I have read in your book, well, thank you for getting the book, that the PTF has a 75% chance of higher prices when it's green. Yes. Does it mean a higher close or just a higher shadow can do the job? A higher wick can do the job. Okay. So it doesn't necessarily indicate whether you're going to close above it, but prices should exceed it. And that means it could exceed it with a shadow, or also known as a wick. Correct. Okay. All right. So I think on this question, Alexander, you're referring to these red colors and shades of green, right? So those are what they call fair value gaps. And I cover that in my course, the Advanced Price Action course, and how you can use that with the art software and so forth. Okay, so that's where you can learn about that. They are not fib levels, okay? But I highly recommend that, because when you use price action with our software, all right, you get a very nice confluence of good trading opportunities. Okay. And yes, you are correct. Thank you. All right. And let's see what else. Yeah, Antonio, I don't have those markets up. So we do mostly stocks and ETFs here. Okay. All right. So Al, DXYZ for you. All right. Okay. Sorry about missing that one. All right. So let's see what we got. All right. So you got green PTFs at the bottom. We have fair value gap where there was rejection. We did not get a close above this fair value gap. So here's exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. Forget the weekly chart for just a minute. All right. But when you have a fair value gap here and you have one down here, then you may be going into a range. Okay. Now you got some pretty good wicks here too. So I take that into consideration as well. All right. So you definitely clean this out, but you did not close above it. So technically you're getting rejection so far off that fair value gap. Now you had rejection off here. So you see the dilemma. Okay. So you might be in a range here. That could be. Now, you've got a green PTF on both time frames, okay, and green owls. You had nice rejection off this. You did not go down to this, but this could be a breakaway gap. Did you take out any type of sell-side liquidity? You did. Here. Okay, good. Huge order block down here. You did not go down into the bottom of this. So the problem could be that we could still back around and go into this before going up. So that's always a possibility. And sometimes you're just not going to know. Okay. You took out equity here and here. The next big thing is the order block way down here. But a lot of times you only get a consequence encroachment on that. Let's take a look at that. See how that works out on that. And look at that. Lo and behold, consequence encroachment right down at the 50% mark. Wow. Okay. I'd say this is a go for a long. Okay. So let's put this on the watch list. Now, where do you put your stop? Okay. You could put it below here. Okay, but until you get a close above here, you have the chance of the market breaking down, taking that out before going. And they do that sometimes. But usually when consequence encroachment holds and you get a fair value gap after it, that usually will hold. Okay. If you want to be super safe, you can put it down here. Okay. But I would put it here. If it gets stopped out, let's see what the market does and go back in if we need to. All right. Always mind your risk. So in this case here, because that consequence encroachment held on here, I would say this is a long trade. Okay. This is okay. Hope that helps. All right. So you could take that as an immediate. All right. Ed's back with RGTI. RGTI. Boy, great picks today, guys. You guys are awesome. All right. No turnaround yet. We're going to put this on a watch list because this is going to turn around soon. So we've got, still a downtrend in place. We have to take out, like the high of this pyramid. These pyramids usually mark the internal, external structure of the trend. So they're pretty helpful with that. So we're coming down to a fair value gap down here. Let's see if that holds. We got an order block sitting right here. And Alexander, the course also covers order blocks too, okay? And how to use those. So we've got green PTF. So we don't want to go short here. The shorting opportunity is done. Okay, what we want to do now is look for a long. All right. So it's a little early, but we want to come back to this next week. It may be ready in a week or two. Okay. So good one, Ed. All right. SERV. All right. So what do we got cooking there? All right. So we've gone down into the fair value gaps. We got a green PTF. Let's get a little rejection from that. We haven't gotten that yet, but we should. So let's put this one also on a watch list. Okay. Not quite yet ready, but we'll look at it next week. CRML. And Ed, I'll depend when I put something on a watch list. Okay. I'm really asking you to come back next week and remind me. Okay. I got too many things going on to write the watch list down and remember them from week to week. So just, I remember the good ones, of course, but on the watch list, up to you to bring them back. Okay. All right. So CRML, green PTF coming down to an order block. Not quite there yet. Another watch list. Okay. CRML. So good job on finding those, because think of a watch list as kind of like, anybody in sales here? Anybody do sales around here? Okay. If you do sales, then you know of a pipeline, right? Sales pipeline where you put your possible prospects. And then in the pipeline, you got the ones that are coming up in a month, 6 months, and a year, right? So that's what you do with these. Okay. Think of your watch list as a sales pipeline. Eventually, we're hoping that these will turn into actual sales, which equals orders. Okay. That's the analogy. All right. So kind of keep an eye on those. All right. ETH. I know you're probably meaning Ethereum and things like that, but I don't think I get those. So just put the ETH stock. And on this here, not quite yet. All right. Cryptos are still coming down, folks. All right. In general. All right. XRP, same thing. Okay. Let me just see about this one, Mr. All right. This one, I think, this one's not a buy. Okay. I think this one is the one where the company is heavily invested in Bitcoin, all right, and bought a lot more. We have Bitcoin still coming down, and this company is still coming down. When Bitcoin reverses, we'll see how this one does, but don't buy this, okay? It's been in the news a lot lately. So, all right. All right, Zen Trader. I'm sorry, Alexander, if I missed your stocks. Can you put them back up for me? Okay, right now, and I'll take a look at them. I thought I got them all, but like I said, a lot are coming in. So put those back up and I'll be glad. All right, Kumar, thank you. You have a great weekend as well. All right. And if anybody else has a few more, let me know. Let me know. Okay. Oh, good. I'm glad you liked it. Thank you. Let me see if so you're Elariza. Did I pronounce that correctly? Hopefully. All right. You're very welcome. Glad you liked it. All right. Ed, thank you. Well, thank you for coming, Ed. Good stock picks, too. Great. I was just going to ask you that because I thought you took that price action course. Good. Excellent. Glad you liked it. It's good stuff. Hey, Alexander, what I'll do, because I know you're kind of was asking about that. So I'll do a little salesy thing here. I'll put a link up for the course again if you're interested. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, so one more on, please. Okay. Is that the stock on? Oh, I'm not sure what you're asking me there. ON, one more ON, please. I think it's ON. Okay, hopefully. Yes, okay. All right. So let's see what we got here. I'm not going to say long, and I kind of almost think short looks better, but I'm not convinced of that either. If you look on the weekly chart, we took out buy side equity here, right? We have some nice, beautiful wicks, but then we got this here and this here. So we could come down and then go back up. Fair value gap here. The prices went above that. And then we got a fair value gap sitting here. So again, and we got a red PTF. So here's the thing, all right? We don't technically have a change in structure to the downside yet, do we? Okay, not yet. Still technically, I can draw a trend line up here. I can draw a trend line up here. So to be going short here, you're really going off the pattern of taking the high here, which is okay, and the wicks. That's all. What I like to see is I'd like to see a move down, okay, a move up, all right, and then a fair value gap or something here, and then take out the low, okay? So I'd wait for a little more confirmation. So no long on this and no short. Okay, let's see what we got here. All right. Okay. Thank you, Alexander. Sorry about that. All right. XL. Let's take a look at that. All right. So nice pullback and nice right down to the fair value gap. Oh, I like that. I don't like the weekly candle. Okay. That's a tough one to go against, so to speak. But sometimes the manipulation candles are large like that. So you have to take that in consideration. But we don't have really a turnaround yet on the daily chart. So I think at this particular point, let's hold off. What we could see on something like this is a little bit of a move up, retracement on this candle, one more leg down into consequence encroachment or the order block here, and then a move off it. So bring this one back next week, okay? They did take out equity here, though, okay? So if we get this, this, and this, that may be okay to go there, but we don't have that yet, okay? LUE. Is that LUE correct? Not seeing that coming up, so check that one, okay? All right. Constance, how are you? Okay. All right, so let's take a look at JCI, long-term hold, and big gain, gap down, fundamental scared. Now it's filled gap. Okay, so a couple things. You're right, big gap down, right? So it looks like we closed right at the top this week. We'll see how it closes today. We're looking to see if it closes up. I'd like to get a little higher on that. Great wick rejection here. And I'll show you something with that in a minute. So usually when you get a price bar like this, it's washed out. This sell side equity, this sell side equity, don't think it took that one out. So it washed that out and moving back up. Okay. So pyramid has you long. Internal structure is okay. Long-term structure, we did break a little bit of a, actually this is probably the long-term structure breakdown here. So we still got that. I would hold it, okay? I would hold it. What's interesting about this, let's just take a look at this. Sometimes those long wicks can act similarly to fair value gaps. And so you get a consequence encroachment on those pullback. And then when you get rejection like we got, that's a good sign. Okay. So I think you're okay for holding a long position. All right. On that. So good. All right, let's see. VZ. Up 10% on earnings. Wow, look at that. Whew. Okay, so see how this closed above the bearish fair value gap on the weekly? All right, that means this will probably be what they call an inversion fair value gap. So it'll act as support. Long-term hold at a loss. All right, I think you should hold this, okay? You should be okay on this. All right, let's take a look at SUN. Long and in currently, okay? And so far, breaking structure there, breaking structure there. So, okay. Oh, go back that far, okay. So, yeah, look how this fair value gap held down here. Boom, then it lift off. You got another one here, another one here, another one here. All right, so I'm thinking you should take this high out, okay? Let me just check something here. I think this was a lower low, 49.03. This is 48. 47.98. So it took the sell side liquidity out here. Okay. I think you're okay. I think you're good for a long position targeting up here at the high and then some. Okay. Messy wave 4. Okay. Let me just see what we got. Let me just draw a fib extension in here best I can. So you're looking at 67 to 78. All right. On that. Which is, so your target, you need to definitely take a partial here and move your stop up, depending on what price does, to the next available point that makes sense in terms of price action. Let me just do this. So that's the target, 65. Okay. So I think you should be okay with that. And you're getting in. Well, you're already in it, so just hold it, okay? I'm not going to recommend that because at this time, because I think some of the others are better, but it's pretty good, okay? SUN. All right, so let's see. Do you think gold is going to make a new all-time high in the days coming? I do, all right? But I think also, too, it's in a pullback time right now. And, it could shoot down into this area if this is a significant pullback, but you got a very strong wave 3 on the daily. So I don't think we're going to pull back maybe that far. Okay. We could pull back into this area here, or we could get rejection right here. Okay. This is a little bit of a concern. That's a bearish, very bearish price bar. Okay. So, we may get a continuation down into these fair value gaps, but I think with the strong owl and PTF on the daily chart, the pullback should not be a major pullback. Okay, so I don't think you'll go below 420 at the most. Okay. All right. Boy, good ones today. So what do you think? Good? All right, I know this was kind of a long session, but there were really some good ones here. So let me just go over what we got. All right, I'll bring up my screen here, my cam again. All right, so we got OKLO, OKLO, INOD, DXYZ. Those are the ones you can go into now to buy, okay? And then on the watch list, we got AVAV, RGTI, SERV, CRML, and HL. Okay, so bring those back next week. All right, well, after today, I'm going to go to the gym, work on the guns, okay? Trying to stay as fit as possible. Can't believe I'm 68 years old, so I still make an effort to go to the gym and try to stay in good shape. All right, listen, my pleasure being here. I really love coming here, okay? It's really great to be here with you all. And we'll be back next week. We come every Friday, all right? So do that. We look up stocks and ETFs. And, you know, with the day trading, what I wanted to say, I think I may start a YouTube day trading room in the summer, okay? Maybe looking like in August or July, later this summer, and move the day trading room over to YouTube and do a broadcast there a couple of days. Not sure how many days I'm going to do it, but I'm considering it. And it will be a realistic one, not where, you know, we're betting the farm just to make it look good, but a real day trading type of thing using all the tools at our disposal. So if you think that would be good, let me know, okay? And we'll see how that goes, okay? All right, so listen, have a good weekend. If you're in the East Coast, I guess batten down the hatches once again, right? Another storm coming in. Otherwise, come out and see us in Arizona, where it's fairly warm and stable so far. So we'll see. But have a great week, and we'll see you back here next week. Good job on all the picks this week. Thanks so much. I'll put a little music on. I'll put the charts back on, and you guys just have a great weekend. All right, and how will I check? Well, in terms of checking for what, okay? And what's Wednesday? Why gold on Wednesday? I don't understand what that means. And Tony, I don't know what you mean. I don't do a webinar on Wednesday. Gold, we looked up gold already, okay? So check out the video. This will be posted as a video. So I did gold already, okay? I think you should be good there. I just use GLD, which is the ETF for gold. Okay, cool. All right, everybody, have a great week. Thanks so much for coming, and we'll see you next week.